Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
Had a question from one of our viewers. Yo, Big Herc, thanks for your videos, man. I'm a square, but have always been fascinated with criminal lifestyles in prison. I've never done anything illegal in my life, but love to hear stories about that life. Thank you for your videos, and I'm glad you are doing much better and turned your life around. I found your channel a few weeks ago and been watching it daily, getting caught up with all your prison talk. I do have a quick question. Have you ever been back to prison? Not locked up again, but have you returned to visit? Did you go back and visit any of your homies that were still locked up when you got out? If you did, how did that make you feel? What was going through your mind? If not, then did you ever just vow to never step foot in prison again, even if it is to visit? Love to hear about that. Thanks again and best of luck with everything. We'll continue to support. Christian. No, I haven't been back to prison. And I don't care to go back. You know, if I had the opportunity to go back and speak on and you know, maybe help some of the guys who are, you know, getting out to help motivate them positively, I would do that. As far as going back to visit, I'm an ex-felon. I got a extensive record, so as far as getting approved for visiting, it wouldn't happen. They wouldn't approve me to go visit anybody in prison as far as on a one-on-one level. Maybe to go back and speak, I would have that opportunity, but as far as visiting, I find it highly unlikely. As far as the homies that I had in prison that I left, a couple of them have gotten out, and I've actually got to kick it with them on a regular basis, and we've got to, you know, network and do some positive things together. As far as the homies that are still in there, you know, I try to write them or, you know, email. You know, now, you know, they got email in some of the institutions, so I try to keep in touch with them like that. If there's things I can help out with as far as maybe money on the books or reading material, I try to look out in that fashion. The main thing is just providing an outlet for when the homies do get out, you know, they have something to do, somewhere to go, you know, they have resources. That's the most important thing for a person in prison, is getting out and having resources. After you do a bunch of time, a lot of the people that you dealt with or you were connected with previously, you know, have fell off. They've disappeared. You know, wives have left you, girlfriends have ran off with other men, family members have written you off. So most of your assets have got spin up. You know, you don't, you know, whatever cars and houses you've had has been sold and squandered. So having resources is very important. So, you know, as far as looking out for the homies, that's what I do. I try to like provide resources, opportunities, things that will help them, you know, do better when they get out as far as opportunities, because I know how hard it is. You know, going back to prison just to, you know, to actually talk to guys is something that I hope to do in the near future, because I know that a lot of times the people that have come talk at these prisons are basically full of shit, you know. And I remember my pre-release class before I got out, they had some people come and talk to the class, and you know, it was people I would never associate on the street. I just considered them lowball. And most of the people that they bring in these institutions to educate you on pre-release, you know, these are people who are barely making it, and it's not like they're gonna send anybody who could, you know, give you any really sense of self, because the guards don't expect you to get out and do much anyways. You know, after you've done 10 years, 15 years, they look at you as pretty much, you're done. You know, you're institutionalized. So, you know, if I could go back and actually reach out to guys and give them a positive outlet and offer them something more than just, you know, the guy who's barely making it on the street, offer him a success story, offer him some inspiration, that's kind of like what I would do, if I was able to go back. I only got a few partners left in prison. Hopefully they'll be home soon, so I try to, like I said, I keep in touch with them through emails and letters and stuff like that. But to guys I don't know, sometimes we get fan mail from guys in prison, and I try to offer them, some sense of self and motivation, and hopefully maybe I can, do their story in the future on Fresh Out interviews. But that's kind of like, my dealings with prison, and I try to avoid that shit like the plague, man. Unless I can go back in a positive nature, I really don't try to have nothing to do with it, because it's not good memories there. As far as just people think, oh, it's cool. Ain't nothing cool about kicking it in prison.